Senator McCain's memorial services and his decade-long political career were honored, and many say they were all about bipartisanship. Reaching across the political aisle almost never seems to happen these days. The latest examples, today's Supreme Court confirmation hearings, where Democrats like Cory Booker and Republican Chuck Grassley began arguing before the process had even begun. Joining me now by Skype is John Malcolm, director of the Meese Center for Legal and Judicial Studies at the Heritage Foundation. John, welcome back to the program.
Great to be with you, Lauren.
You know this process well. In 2016, you compiled a list of potential Supreme Court nominees to succeed Justice Scalia. 7 of those 8 made the White House shortlist. Can you remember a time ever when a hearing for a nominee was this contentious?
Boy, it's a tough bar to clear, but I think this one, based on the first day, may have cleared it. I thought they should have been selling popcorn and cotton candy outside because it looked as if the circus had arrived in town. I don't know how many protesters
At least
were
8
arrested
groups,
today.
I know.
Oh, my God. And Democrats were constantly interrupting the Republicans. It really got out of hand quickly, and I'm hoping that Chairman Grassley will be able to restore order for the next 3 days.
Democrats repeatedly argued that the confirmation hearings should have been delayed until they had the opportunity to look at what they called a 42,000 document dump last night about Judge Kavanaugh's record. So what would, John, the harm have been in delaying the hearings to give them a chance to do that? Is there precedent for that?
Well, there's been plenty of time for all of the senators to evaluate this nominee. I mean, all of the Democratic senators in the past have said that the best thing you can go upon to determine what kind of a justice somebody will be their judicial track record. So they don't want to spend any time talking about the 307 opinions that Brett Kavanaugh has written and the 391 other opinions that he has joined. They would rather focus on documents 12, 14, 15 years ago that crossed his desk before making it to the desk of President Bush, who was making very important executive branch decisions. I mean, Brett Kavanaugh has been a judge for a dozen years. He's received a unanimous, well-qualified rating by the ABA, which is hardly a bastion of conservative legal thought. It's their highest rating. There is plenty there to examine what kind of a justice Brett Kavanaugh will be. But of course, that's not what the Democrats want to focus upon, and they've already announced their intention not to vote for him anyway.
Senator Dianne Feinstein, who's a Democrat from California, used her opening remarks to link Judge Kavanaugh as President Trump's nominee to the president's pro-life views. Does that put Judge Kavanaugh in a position to answer questions on Roe v. Wade or to defend his impartiality?
Yeah, I don't think he will answer those questions. So Ruth Bader Ginsburg, during her confirmation hearing, said it would be improper for a potential Supreme Court justice to even offer a hint as to how he or she might rule if a case were to come before the Supreme Court. And abortion is part of the regular diet of cases that come up to the Supreme Court. And so Brett Kavanaugh will talk about, as he should, the importance of precedent. He will talk about the approach that he gives in constitutional and statutory cases, but he will not discuss the specifics of any precedent, and certainly will not do so with respect to Roe versus Wade.
John Malcolm, director of the Meese Center for Legal and Judicial Studies at the Heritage Foundation. I suspect we'll be seeing a lot of you. Thanks for joining us.
Always a pleasure.